Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO Harry Potter set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have set number 75966. This is the Hogwarts Room of Requirement, containing 193 pieces and retailing for $20 in the US. This is the smallest set to come out of the 2020 wave of Harry Potter sets. And you have a single instruction booklet, which, at the end shows off the rest of the wave that this was released alongside. This was the smallest one. And, it does contain 3.5 minifigures plus the 2 Patronus molds, and the top of the box shows off the figure selection, and the back shows off the other side of the build. The main build of the set is essentially just a wall, though it is a wall in 2 sections, because we have this curved section here, which features a little fireplace, and there is a sticker inside there, actually, which has a little bit of a interesting flame design, like behind the flame parts. You can see there's a little bit of like a glow effect that is sort of printed on the sticker, which just kind of makes for a little bit of a interesting look. You can sort of see it in there, but it's mostly blocked out by the actual fire pieces. Up top here, this is kind of an interesting, build. It looks pretty good for the most part for a fireplace, and the other outside there has Umbridge's proclamations, which are, all stickers, but they look pretty good. And there's actually a little play feature in this section where if you push down on this, it will launch the proclamations off the wall. And that just basically has this little Technic axle kind of lodged in place there, and if you push this in to attach this back with studs, it will pop this back out, so it's kind of flush with that, and just pushing in on that will just kind of make them fall off. And this will look a little bit awkward if you have it in the pushed off state, but it is nice to just have that little feature. And from the outside, other than that, it is very plain. And if we attach this back to the wall, this kind of features the entrance to the Room of Requirement, and it just looks like a wall, right? But it really just is a secret entrance. And yeah, functions pretty well. The way that it works is they actually use one of the same bricks with the clips there. On the other side, this is the same part, and basically the clip will just stop this from being able to move side to side. So, and you do have the door there, which allows you to see the entrance, and that works out really well. And other than that, just has the large blue panels, which sort of decently represent the interior of the Room of Requirement. But I mean, it looks pretty good for what it is. It's pretty small, and these holes you can use to connect to other sections on of the existing Hogwarts sets, but there's really no good place, really no perfect place to attach it. But let's take a look at the rest of the stuff. The other 2 little builds here are the little training dummy thing. I don't know exactly what to call this, but this does feature 2 exclusive new prints for the face there and for the torso. And, maybe it's a little bit of a lighter color, and maybe it would have been better if it was dark brown, but the prints on it look pretty good, and it does have the wheels on the bottom as well as this part, which kind of keeps it standing up. So it looks reasonably good, I think, and decent inclusion in the set. We also have this kind of blackboard, which features the picture there of I believe the original Order of the Phoenix, right? And then you have a picture of Cedric Diggory up there on the top, and a couple other newspaper clippings. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of a decent sticker, but the build there is nothing special. Though it does add a little bit to the interior of the Room of Requirement, because otherwise, the set is a little bit plain. But, with these in here, kind of helps it out a little bit. The one other little play feature that the set does have is this flick missile thing. I don't know exactly. Power Blast, I think, is what they're officially called, because they originated in superheroes. But you can just click on the tail and attempt to shoot it. If you're really good, you'll be able to possibly knock this guy over, but the little power blasts do kind of get lost a little bit easy. Not quite as easy as studs, but it will shoot off a far distance. You just saw, because mine went down there somewhere. But you do get an intentionally included spare. We also get these 2 new Patronus molds for Luna and Hermione, where we have this hair, which is a pretty cool mold, and it would be cool to get this redone without the glittery blue, as an actual hair animal. But this one has a stud on the back, and does fit on 2 studs. It's 3 studs long. And then we have the otter here, which is a really neat mold as well. It doesn't have a stud on the back, so maybe it feels a little tiny bit less Lego, but I think that they did this pretty well, and it is nice to get these two Patronus animals, especially, that they gave them both brand new molds, and I'll be interested to see if they do reuse these in the future. All three of the minifigures in this set, or 3.5 if you include that training dumbing thing, are all exclusive. They all have exclusive torso prints, and they seem like mildly generic Hogwarts robes, but they are actually newly designed ones. They are more closely based on the uniforms that they wear, at least during the later movies. Where they do button up and they have the ties underneath as well. Luna has the version where she does not have any sleeves, and Hermione does have the sleeves. The one minor inaccuracy here is that I believe that both of these characters were wearing skirts instead, so maybe it would have been nice if they gave us new printing for the female Hogwarts robes that have the skirts. And they could have just shared the same legs between the two, but instead they decided to opt for unprinted ones, which I think is okay, because they, do kind of just look like they're just wearing, all black below the waist. But, if they wanted to throw in a little bit of extra detail, they could have added in just a little bit of printing to represent, the skirt there. But the, hair pieces and faces are basically exactly what we've seen before for these characters. It's just the printings for the torsos that are new, but I do appreciate that they, did go out of their way to add that little detail and make these just a little bit more accurate to the scene. They could have just, thrown in the standard, Ravenclaw and Gryffindor torsos that we've seen in other sets, but they decided to update them specifically for the set, which I appreciate. I think both of them look pretty good, and I think the Harry figure is particularly nice. I appreciate the fact that again, he got an updated torso that is actually pretty darn accurate to what it is supposed to look like. With his unbuttoned appearance from when he is teaching everyone in the Room of Requirement, which is exactly the scene that it is based on. So, yep, nice screen accuracy, looks pretty good. I used the same hairy face, though I think that's totally fine. And by same hairy face, I mean the same one that was used for like the Goblet of Fire stuff. So, I think the hairpiece is pretty appropriate for the scene as well. So, really, no complaints with this figure at all. So, yeah, that's it for the Room Requirement set. I think that it's a pretty small and pretty simple set, but I think that it makes a decent value at $20. The build isn't anything super special, but I think the figure selection and Patronuses do push it into the pretty good value zone. So, if you, have any interest in the set at all, I would recommend getting it, because I think that it is a pretty good deal for what it is. I think that, the figures are very well done, and probably better than they had to be, so, I think that that's good. The build, nothing super crazy special. I think that it's a decent add-on to the other Hogwarts stuff, and I do like the, the door feature where you can slide it side to side. It does mean that the set, from this side doesn't look super accurate just because of those blue walls, though, they would have had to pretty drastically increase the size of the set, really. They'd have to make this wall double thick in order to hide that up on one side. So, I guess unless they wanted to just make these tan and put like blue stickers on them, but I don't think that that would make it look quite as cool. So, I'm happy with this for what it is, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little review. Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.